The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has approved a 50% tariff increase for mobile network operators, MNOs, to address rising operational costs. The decision, confirmed on Monday, follows Section 108 of the Nigerian Communications Act 2003, which gives the NCC authority to regulate telecom tariffs. The tariff adjustment, capped at a 50% increase, is part of broader industry reforms aimed at ensuring long-term sustainability. While some MNOs requested higher adjustments, the Commission opted for a balanced approach, with rates staying within the limits set by the 2013 NCC cost study. The changes, the first since 2013, are expected to bridge the gap between rising operational costs and current tariffs without compromising service quality. The NCC stressed that these adjustments will allow operators to invest in infrastructure and improve customer service, ensuring better connectivity for Nigerians. The Commission also emphasized its commitment to transparency and fairness in the implementation of the new rate and pledged to continue engaging with stakeholders to sustain the growth of the telecommunications sector. Joining us now to discuss telco tariff hike and how it will impact the quality of service and steps to ensure customers get value for their money is the National President, Association of Telephone, Cable and Internet Subscribers, ATCIS, Sina, Bilesanmi. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Now, looking at this issue of telecom operators, this is not the first time they've been crying out, saying that they're, working with unsustainable environment. Looking at the fact that, the price of fuel has gone up, the cost of everything practically has gone up, and so it's affecting their cost of operations. But is there a way to balance this hike or to avoid this hike so that Nigerians do not bear the brunt of this increase in tariff?
Well, thank you once again. And I believe, as you said, this is not the first time. I think we have been on this since 2019. And if you know about the art case, we are the front line for rejecting this offer just because they failed to do the needful and based on what the Act NCC say on 108 to 109. And I believe they need to let us know what they are feeling. I believe, and I do say that most of the times, the old Nigeria, and this is new Nigeria, the telecoms operators need to carry the advocacy of telecom subscriber along, not to be lobbying at the National Assembly or to the government regulator, which is NCC. But the reason why we are in support of what happened yesterday, or the 50%, between me and you, the telco, August last year, they be threatening the government, threatening with telecom subscriber too, that they are going to pull off, do everything. But the issue at hand call for we to dialogue, to call for stakeholders meeting. But the operator, the telecom operator, failed. That's what now make the art case, that's Association of Telephone, Cable TV and Internet Subscriber, to send a letter to the NCC, who happen to be the telco government regulator. And a lot of rumors, fake news have been happening since August. I will not take it upon ourselves as advocacy group to call for a press conference. And between me and you, what happened yesterday is supposed to have happened in August. But we kick against that, and thank God for the information, prompt information we got from people. And the same thing, December 2, they came up with another fresh that they are going to, they so threat a lot of things to advocacy body, to the government. We now make NCC to know that, look, you need to call a stakeholders meeting, which they did on the 8th by Minister, while on the 9th January by NCC. Articles are involved. When the NCC now let us know the reason why. From what you mentioned, fine, FX, fuel, a lot of things, yes, but to sustain the business and for our people that they employ not to lose their employment, that's the reason why we at Atkins support that. But we with a warning. The reason why we support 50% is that, fine, you have promised Nigeria and you have promised us that taking the increase. If you remember, they requested for 100% to 300%. And now the NCC met with the management and the advocacy group with the other stakeholders. We agree on the 50%. And according to the yesterday's meetings by virtual, while the 9th and the 8th of January at Abuja, I'm present there. And with the condition I give the NCC is that coming up, this implementation of this, next month by February, if we cannot see the quality of the service at ASKIS, we might come back to the here and be saying another thing. But the reason why we submit is for, number one, to sustain the business and to support the growth of Nigeria, the people that they are employed, for them not to lose their job. Those are the reasons why we support the government, and we are not against what happened yesterday. But surely the issue of increase in tariff will not solve the issue of fiber cuts, vandalism, and equipment theft, that have affected the services and operations of telecoms. So how can this be tackled as well, as Nigerians definitely will be expecting improved service following this hike in tariff? Thank you very much. Number one, the NCC need to tidy up their organization. And particularly the question you asked is just on the issue of solution. If the telco operator needs service of our associations, we can help them out. But since we're hard now, this is national television, I need to just let them know one thing is that collaboration in whatever thing you are doing matters. For example, now we have all our members in all 36 states and 6 geopolitical zones. If they want to curb the issue of virtualization of their infrastructure, if they engage us, we can also assist them through our member in any state they are or their station are. We can also use our members to work together and give them information if you have any kind of things. But to the NCC, they need to be having a prompt stakeholders meeting or a town hall meeting, so that if you see something, you say something. But coming together, cooperation matter. Still looking at the challenges telecom operators face in Nigeria, because these are some of the challenges that have made them, consider the toxic environment they're working with, looking at, the expensive cost of diesel to fuel their plants and all of that. They also talk about the fact that they have to import some of this equipment. And there have been discussions around locally producing this equipment. Can we not look at, resolving some of these issues so that the, Forex crisis can be dealt with, and then that way we can, do some more thorough solution, get some thorough solution other than the surface dressing that we have? Because if we keep, increasing tariff every now and then, these issues still persist, and the tariff hike would not resolve the issues. Well, thank you. That's let me clear something, that our Association of Telephone, Cable TV, and Internet Nigeria, we are not a government institution. We are an advocacy group. When we see something, we say something. And this one, your question will make me to let the government, the agency, know to work in hand, to work in cooperation. The engineer, the governments, federal governments also need to put some infrastructure in place to make the environment good for the telco operators. And I'm not here to be their spokesperson, but at the same time for economic growth and for us as a subscriber to have a good quality service. You see, that organization, they have two association body that regulate the operators. They should make themselves available to the public. Number one, we can't count. I resumed to the office of National President of ATKIS less than 3 years ago. By God's grace, ATKIS will be 10 years by August. And from record, we try to build a good relationship between the both ATKIS, ATCON, and ATLONS. But among the two organizations I mentioned that control the advocacy body of the operators, there are two I don't want to use a word, I don't want to use stubborn, but they make things difficult. And that's the reason why we stood that since 2019 that we knew that this thing will come. And because of interjection of the NCC, pleading, and because of what I just explained, that's the reason why we accept the 50%. Now, government, I think among the government institutions, they have some indigenous, national something of clinical indigenous. They need to partner with them. As advocacy, we can also assist them to project their mind or their dreams to the government. As an investor, to make money or to make profits, we also, as a subscriber advocacy body, we have to, the more you are paying the money, we must see the value of what we are paying. What we need now is cooperation, collaboration, so that we can have good understanding and good economic growth in Nigeria.
Now, you said earlier that if by February you do not see any improvements, you know that you'll be here to cry out. But I'm just wondering what steps you'll be willing to take to ensure that customers get improved service. What steps do we need to take to hold the telcos accountable, you know, based on the fact that they've said with the increase in tariff, we'll get better services? Yes,
I believe at the meeting yesterday by virtual meetings that we take the decision to approve. I told the Director for Consumer Affairs Bureau, and before I can support that, there's lots of, in fact, a rancor. But being the government regulatory bodies, they've promised us that they're going to continue to be engaging both before Nigerians are. None of these three, both operators, regulators, and subscribers, no meeting that joins these three people together. But based on what the director told us yesterday, which I believe that's Dr. Adidi, is the Director for Consumer Affairs Bureau. And I believe his word is a man that keeps to his word. And by engaging us, and by NCC setting up the monitoring groups, and we have different ESCOs that manage our, we do monitor, sir. We do monitor. And if they fail, I don't pray for them to fail, but if they fail, number one, we are going to hold the NCC. If you look at my press release towards one of the daily newspaper today, what I told you, the reason why we join NCC and federal government to support is that, number one, we want the economic of Nigeria to grow and to sustain the business. Because if the business collapse, although we subscribers also will be having our part, they also will be having our part. But the truth is that the NCC also need to engage the media, the advocacy body, and people that they think it can make progress to this nation. And let me tell the Nigerians that if you see anybody now kicking against it, this tariff is a betrayal. Because the people that are against this are the first person that the telco sponsor, or the issue of 5% to 10%.
All right, talking about kicking against this particular tariff hike, the president of the National Association of Telecom Subscribers, as well as the national spokesperson for the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, have vowed to drag the federal government to court over the approval of this tariff hike. How do you see the turn of events, especially seeing that this is becoming a legal issue?
We are Nigerians, and everybody have right to say whatever thing he likes. But if you say something that is against the law of the land, you will find yourself where you don't expect. You see, the so-called groups now that are saying no, where are they 7 years ago? Where are they 9 years ago? I just told you something like that. Somebody that, I don't want to mention it, it was sponsored by the telecos. My dear sisters, I know what I'm facing. On the issue of not to increase for the past 2019, I've located where I am. To the extent they send as assassin. just because I'm trying to advocate for the masses. But my question is, those who are saying they are going to court now, they should have wait whether these people will be improved or not. But to us, I believe God is on our side. We've tried our best, but nobody do the advocacy on telecom industry than Atkins.
Well, very well said, Mr. Sina Bilesanmi, National President, Association of Telephone, Cable and Internet Subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you, ma'am.